Hello, I'm Jimmy Tatro. You can check me out on my stand-up tour, Memoirs of a College Dropout, or my YouTube channel, Life According to Jimmy. Seventh grade, I was at UCLA basketball camp, and I remember one of the kids had stolen a couple Playboys from his dad's stash. And I remember seeing a couple kids like with ripped out pages from Playboy. Me and my roommates were like, where'd you get this? So we walk in there and he was in there like slanging these pages to people that he was cool with. And if he liked you, he'd rip you out a little page from his Playboy and give it to you to keep. So I think he gave me like 2 or 3 to take home, and I treasured those for quite some time. I would probably say Silence of the Lambs. My mom didn't really let me watch many scary movies, so I would go to my friend Dakota's house to watch all the things I wasn't allowed to watch, play Grand Theft Auto and whatnot. I remember he put on Silence of the Lambs one time, and I was just so rattled. And I was just, after that, I was like, I'm good. I don't think I like scary movies. And I haven't really been much of a fan of scary movies since then. Whatever those stars are that appeal to like the 12 to 13-year-old girl demographic, I just have no idea. Like I was watching the Teen Choice Awards last year. Don't ask why. I just remember seeing all the names of the people that were nominated and like the awards they were giving out, and it was just such a foreign world to me. They were giving out awards like best selfie, best Instagram account, and like stuff like that, and I was just so confused. Like I had no idea that was even a thing that existed in the world. Lobster mac and cheese with a Glacier Freeze Gatorade on the side. The light blue, not the dark blue. Can't do too much of that. Okay, I was gonna say Lose Yourself by Eminem, but if I'm gonna keep it real honest, it was I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys. Yeah, back in 2000 when Millennium came out. Yeah, that was the one. I think I had a dance to that as well. We don't have to talk about that. My first car was an '88 Honda Prelude, and it was just such a piece of junk. It was my mom's back in the day, and she gave it to me. I drove that thing like a madman. Like I've never driven a car as fast as I drove that Prelude. And looking back on it, it was just, the car was not meant to go as fast as I used to drive it. My mom would always be like, it was a sports car, it was cool back in the day. And I'd be like, yeah, back in the day, I mean, now it's just this rattly old '88 Prelude. Not my favorite car. Daylight savings time. I just think it's the stupidest thing in the world. I just think it doesn't make any sense, I don't understand it. Maybe if someone were to explain daylight savings time to me, I might be more accepting of it, but for now, I just think it's incredibly stupid. I went to school in Arizona, and they just don't do daylight savings time. So that, like, how does that make sense? Like, one state just isn't allowed to do daylight savings time, and then the rest of the country does? It doesn't make any sense to me. Interesting story, actually. I did a promo for some Pepsi live stream concert or something, and how much I made depended on how many people I got to go watch this live stream. They told me a number after the live stream ended of what I made, and I was like, holy shit. So I rounded up like 4 of my buddies. We headed to the strip clubs, and we're just making it rain, blowing stacks, having a great time. I'm buying everyone dances. I was the most generous person in the world that night. And then the next morning I wake up, and my manager's like, ooh, actually, it wasn't that much. It was about half of that. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. And she's like, is that okay? I'm like, I mean, not really. You know, I definitely would have liked to know that last night before I spent uncharacteristically large amount of money at the strip clubs. I probably would have spent half of that. So next time, maybe hold off on giving me a number until it's set in stone, please. I'm Jimmy Tatro, and you're watching Playboy.com.
When I was a teenager, that would be like 2 years ago, someone had a Playboy and found it very weird. I remember the distinction between Playboy and then there were the other ones where it was just like, that's unnecessary. So that's what I remember. I remember a Playboy being, you know, someone's dad had it and me looking at it with some other 13-year-old probably. It was very strange, and then I prayed.